podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, likes, comments, feedback. Man, thank you so much. It's greatly and genuinely appreciated. How's everybody out there doing today? Decided to jump on here to do a little quick live. Uh, I was about to upload some videos on the other channel. So, as I'm loading, about to go upload on the other channel real quick, I get a comment. I read the comment. Apparently, I guess Cartoon 53 has come around and apparently is airing out the dirty laundry of Lamark Moore. Right now, they found somebody to go back and forth with. But you got to take in consideration that when I came around this Lamark Moore saga, Cartoon 53 was one of the main ones that was trying to validate and normalize and try to clean up Mark's image, portraying that, oh man, none of that shit could happen. It could, but nah. Right? People want to eat one way or another off of this YouTube Mark Moore. Right? That integrity goes out the door. Right? For a few bucks. So I look at the comment. I go check out. I'm thinking that it's going to be on Cartoons 53 channel. So I type in Cartoon 53. Nah, it's on old Doofus channel, right? So I said, man, these guys still want to continue to eat off of this Lamark Moore. Right? I don't get it, man. I honestly don't get it. Right? People want to make a penny off of anything, man. Right? Off of this Lamark Moore. Right? It's like people are tired of it with all the nonsense, man. Right? Nobody wants to hear from people that at one point or another try to sweep everything Mark Moore and had an answer and excuse for everything Mark Moore did. Right? When they asked him about the hump room, oh man, just because he's in the hump doesn't mean he's in the hump. A lot of dudes go in the hump to break packages down. They don't want to be seen by the laws. They don't want anybody to see what you're doing up in the hump. Right? When you ask them for everything, instead of honestly throwing Lamark under the bus, it's real quick just to say, right? I don't get it, man. I honestly don't get it. That people, their integrity. I don't get. If you're gonna expose Mark Moore, expose him with the truth. Right? Expose him with the truth. Right? Expose him with the truth. Why am I worried about it? Why? Cause I'm here to fuck up the plays. Right? If you don't like it, do something about it. Catch you a body. Right? Catch you a body. It's that simple. Right? I like fucking up the plays. I don't do it for the money. I get my gratification on exposing fuckers. Right? That's where I get mine. It don't matter if I'm stopping anything, man. Right? But as long as I'm out there, my voice, however minimal, it still gets heard. And it still bothers you. Right? That you're over here dropping comments. Right? With the back and forth. These Cartoon 53 interviews, I will put them into Betty the Cook, the fake Mendenhall. Same narrative, right? Trying to control the narrative. Well, if we can't clean up his image, let's just smut it up as much as we can. All right. These guys ain't gonna meet up nowhere. They're just talking, right? It's playing off the audience's emotions. That's all it is. All right. With fake narrative. All right. It don't. I'm glad that you stay funny, right? Cause you over here bothering me, right? Do you see me go to y'all's lives? Do you see me in the comments over there? No. Right? So apparently, whatever I do bothers you. Because apparently you're over here telling me how you feel. Right? You're over here telling me how you feel in your comments. Right? You ain't doing nothing. But apparently you're over here to tell me that I'm not doing nothing to you. Right? If it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be over here in my comments. Right? So apparently it got your panties up in a bunch. It bothers you. Right? That somebody's always there to contend. Right? To contest you. Right? And it bothers you. Right? And it bothers you. So, like I said, man, I don't do this for monetary gain. I do it to fuck up your deviant's plans, right? To continue to show the world, social media, Lamark Moore, right? The real Lamark Moore, right? Because you can't take somebody's word that was trying to cover up for him from the beginning, right? But I don't blame him, because people probably started questioning his, doubting him. Be like, you know, this guy did all that shit, man. Why are you going to bat for him? Why are you calling yourself a war daddy? All right, putting yourself in the place of Lamark Moore, right? So I'm pretty sure your inner circle and people started questioning him. So now, to try to, make some pennies off of YouTube, now they're on the, we attacking Mark and we're going to expose what Mark was doing. Well, we already know what Mark was doing. Why don't y'all get Brad Lucas? Right? Why don't y'all get Brad Lucas for the shit can end? Right? And that'll be the end of it. Right? Until we get Brad Lucas, man, I ain't stopping. Right? Why don't y'all put y'all's hard effort on bringing Brad Lucas? Not no testimony that we've already heard has been corrupted, that has no value, right? So he pulled a Cartoon 53, put a Woody, right? He's pulling a little Woody, right? Oh yeah, he did all, he ain't do all this and that, right? But now he's switching up and so, oh no, he didn't do it, right? But at the beginning, it was, nah, Mark didn't do that. Mark's the angel. Mark was just going in the hump to break down packs, right? Man, what's the hump for? Oh man, the hump could be for a lot of things, but it wasn't for what Mark was using it for. Mark was using it to break packs down, right? But now, I'm pretty sure that the hump is the shack room, right? What happened? What happened overnight? I mean, what happened all of a sudden? I can tell you what happened. People getting behind the scenes and saying, let's do this, let's do that. It's like WWE, right? WWE. You do this, you do that. You body slam me here, I need you here, right? Right. So, what are you doing, Bernie? So you ask yourself, man, what would make a person go from defending him to airing out the dirty laundry? What? I mean, shit, you've had a whole fucking year other than to scheme and plot and to come up, what can we do? Oh man, you gotta get Cartoon 53, you gotta attack Mark. Mark, you ready for this internet beef? Mark's like, yeah, I'm ready for the internet beef, come on, right? I read the comment, right? It said he's a certified, ain't nobody taking nothing from Cartoon, right? I don't personally know his history. I ain't taking nothing from him, right? I'm just speaking up on the videos, right, that he participated on and made public, right? I'm not talking about, questioning his credentials, right? But what I am questioning is why all of a sudden, if you were the go-to guy to back up his plays, to defend Mark, that every possibility, you had an excuse for Mark. But now a year later, y'all done schemed up a plan to try to come up. And in reality, man, Cartoon 53 don't need to get himself involved with that shit, man. His videos, I mean, his channel's pretty good on by itself. If you really want to speak about it, right? It's like he's saving lifelines out there, man, right? I don't see Cartoon really needing to align himself with certain people, right? His channel does pretty good on its own. I mean, so I'm kind of confused now to all of a sudden to be like, man, I'm gonna do a 360 and start talking about Mark. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but from the people like myself that have been there from the beginning, man, I gotta question the authenticity, man, the genuine intentions of it, right? I'm only human, right? I have to question these things, right? Just so other people can be observant and be aware of it. But wasn't this dude the same one that was making excuses and defending Mark's actions as being street credited from his organization, right? So they brought in Cartoon to validate Mark, right? And now, all of a sudden, Mark's this, Mark's that. But where was that energy a year ago? So basically, if I was a subscriber, I'd be questioning the authenticity of the creator of that channel, right? Be like, damn, shit, what happened for me? If you knew all this a year ago, what made you switch over, right? Because nothing's changed. These guys been out of prison over 30 years ago. So that means Cartoon 53 had all this knowledge firsthand. So that tells me that he was trying to bamboozle us, right? That's the honesty, right? That's just my point of view on how I see the things, right? Because where was all this energy of mark this, mark that, when you were defending and making excuses for him, right? It's just crazy, man. To me, it's mind-boggling. YouTube doesn't make that much money, man. I think Cartoon makes more money on his own, right? On his own channel. Right. So people get mad because I speak the facts, and they get mad, man, right? They get mad, right? But it's not just me, man. You know, it's not a good money play, man. Cause look, for every thousand views, man, you get like anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks, right? Per 1,000 views. So if you make a video that makes you 2.5 views, man, you're looking at 30, 40 bucks, bro. And now you split it in between two content creators. We've already seen the outcome of these content creators sharing Mark. The beef between Mark, June, and the bum, right, was because they got $75, right? And Mark's like, man, I should have got more than $75. A manager said, right? So everybody's trying to leech off of Mark. But off of what? Off a penny? Man, you make more money at the temp service, bro. Right? With dignity and integrity, right? Go to the temp service, man. Get you a job, pay you 10, 25 bucks an hour. Maybe you make 200 bucks, 300 bucks a day. I guarantee you make more than what you do on YouTube at the moment. Right? You gotta have it don't Ronnie the Great, right? Because people that have been there from the beginning are going to question the how authentic are you, bro? You know, and not only that, but why are you lying over a deviant? But I understand him too, man, because I'm pretty sure there's people like, say, man, were you a war daddy? Were you doing the same shit Mark was doing? Right? Because he put himself and portrayed himself like, well, shit, if Mark was doing that, then I was a war daddy too. These are not my words. These are Cartoons 53 words, right? He gave himself the title of war daddy. Shit, if Mark was doing all that shit, then I was a war daddy. Then if he was doing it, then I must, right? So it makes no sense now, man, right? Other than to play off the emotions and bamboozle the audience, man. Be authentic with your audience, man. Right? If you're really gonna expose Mark more, man, I gave you the ice and the cookies and everything. I led you to the fountain of youth, which is Brad Lucas. Right? So why not, if you really wanted to expose him, why not Brad Lucas? Right? Why not try as hard as you've been trying to clean up his image and now so-called expose him? Why haven't you brought out Brad Lucas, man? I brought him to you on a platter. You know them pigs with them apples? That's how I presented him to you. I gave him to you. Right? Run with it. But you got a dark soul, man. Right? You don't want to do God's work, man. Right? You want to do the devil's work. Right? Whatever fattens your pockets. Right? Who cares what the black man did to the white man? I know. Nobody cares. Right? And people should ask me, man, why do you care? You're a fucking Mexican. Right? The white man don't care a fuck about you. And you know what? You're exactly right. Right? The white man don't give a fuck about me. But at the end of the day, man, we're human. Right? We're human. If I needed some kind of a organ transplant, blood fusion, would it really fucking matter where it came from? Right? So you're gonna tell me, nah, I'm not taking that organ, man, because it comes from a white guy. Or I'm not taking that organ because it comes from a Mexican. I'm not taking that organ because it comes from an Indian. I'm taking that organ because it's gonna keep me alive and it's what I need. Right? We're all the same, man. We're humans. I don't do this for monetary gain, man. Right? I do it because first, I'm resilient, man. Right? I told you from the beginning, you're just gonna have to take me out, man. Right? Until I had enough of it, me. Right? To when I've had enough of eating shit, and I'm fucking full of it, that I don't want no more. And that's when I stop. Right? But until then, I don't see it happening, man. Right? Because I get the thrill, man. I get the, how can I say, I get antsy-pantsy. Right? I get it antsy-pantsy, man. I get them ants in my pants. Right? I get that jittery. Right? I start getting jittery, man. Palms start sweating. Heartbeat starts, feels like I'm about to, commit a crime. I go up in a bank or something, right? But it's just that I'm passionate about what I'm doing, man. On what I'm speaking about it, right? Because it's the only thing, it's the right thing to do, man. Right? It don't, man. Right? But YouTube, if you're not making videos that hit up to like 7,000-10,000, consecutively, then it's worth it, man. Right? The only one, a lot of y'all be watching 16 to Life as well, man. Right? Uh, 16 to Life, right? He's kind of he's kind of transparent on his earnings on YouTube, man. Right? He'll post up there what he's making, and then you can go based off his views and videos and how constantly he drops, and you're like, oh yeah, it's possible, right? The views are there. He's dropping constantly, so you can see that when he posts his screenshots of his estimated revenue, which is not bad, right? Sometimes he be posting estimated revenues of 6, 7, 8,000, right? Which is not bad, right? But then you got to go look at the content he's producing, right? A lot of people are watching his videos, right? He gets a lot of views, up into tens and thousands, 10, 15, 9, 8, right? But when you're making videos that are making like myself, 100, 200 views per video, and then you look at the math right? And that totals about $1.40, right? So then you do the math. So if I get 1,000 views, then I'll probably get 1040, right? If I get 10,000 views, I'll probably get 140, right? So the views, subscribers don't matter, man. Right? You can have 200,000-300,000 subscribers. I mean, there's a perfect example, right? There's this other content creator called Asian the Blazing, right? And his content is nothing but THC, right? He's somewhere in California or one of them legal states, right? He got 700,000 subscribers, and he goes, "Look, I'm getting a job, man." Why? Because yes, I have 700,000 subscribers, but not 700,000 people are watching, right? And I go look at his videos, and this guy's, he's getting 30, 40,000 views per video, right? And he's getting himself a job, right? So don't let these people on YouTube fool you, right? Yes. Is it possible to make money on YouTube? Yes. Yes, right? But what do you have to do? You have to sell your morals, your integrity, your beliefs, all for a few pennies, man. All right. And this is from somebody that knows and experienced the analytics, right? I'm telling you, man, for each video that I do that produces 100 to 200 views, right? It's a payout of $1 something, man. If that, right? If that. So I don't see the benefit of aligning yourself with characters for a few pennies, man. I would rather just go get a job at a temp service, man. Right? Or even work myself away, get my own CDL or whatever. Go to business for myself, man. Instead of being a fucking content creator, of having the hopes of, it's almost like a gambler's addiction, man. Right? One time you hit it big, you got a taste of what the possibility is, and now you're trying to find the next fix, right? How can I get that money again? Right? And this is what YouTube is, man. People that get a little taste of it, they're like, "Oh man, I need to create controversy, conflict, drama, fake narrative." But the thing is, man, that not everybody is a fucking moron, right? People are gonna question the motives, right? Don't get me wrong. Anybody can expose Mark Mormon. I don't give a fuck about that, right? Anybody, right? I don't want people to think that I feel like I'm a gatekeeper of Lamark Terror more. No, man. The more people that expose him, the more the better, right? But it has to be genuine, right? Genuine, right? Genuine, authentic, right? It has to be for real, right? Now, if you're just going to be playing back and forth patty cakes, then don't get mad with people that are really taking this shit seriously. Start questioning, man, right? And if you do it once on one video, how many other videos, man? How many other stories? You know what I mean? You lose value, man, right? I mean, real street people are going to question that type of shit, right? Damn, bro, like, yeah, how the fuck are you going to flip on me like that, right? How are you going to flip-flop, right? It's the moral and the principle of the shit, man, right? Especially for real street certified dudes, right? If especially for any 5-star general that considers himself an OG, knows the rules of the game. You can't flip-flop, right? You can't be one, man, you can't be one way and the next day be another. That's all it is, Ronnie the Great. Man, don't get me wrong, man. You know, if people, I don't knock people's hustle on YouTube, man. I don't think, I don't think that I'm some type of dude that bashes dude. No, man. If you found a niche for you and it's profitable for you, man, go ahead, man. Right? But at what expense, right? Don't get mad when you try to clean up the image of Mark. Right? Man, if they would Brad Lucas, man, I'd step away, man. Right? I'd be out the mix so quick. Right? I'm tired of this shit, man. Right? I'm tired of talking about this fucking homosexual. Right? I'm tired of it. Right? But apparently, if I don't do it and keep up the pressure, it's just fun and games, man. Next week, it'll be Fleas exposing Mark. Right? Linda Dynamite. Breaking news. Linda Dynamite exposes Mark. Right? Next week after that, it'll be Snowball from New Jersey. Right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they get John Merrill from South Africa to start exposing Mark. Right? I wouldn't be surprised, man. So, if you're gonna expose him, and I gave you Brad Lucas on a platter, man. 5-course meal. It's almost like I took the bitch out to the date, and you got to sleep with her, right? I did all the hard work. Heavy lifting, and you were the one that was able to pull the panties down. Right? But you still didn't go all the way, so you're just like spoiled it, man. Right? You couldn't perform. You had ED, you had erect dysfunctional, you couldn't perform. Right? Even through everything was there, ready, wide open, panties down, you had erect dysfunction, you couldn't perform. Right? So if that case, if you couldn't perform, you should have just left it up to me, man. Right? You should have just let me Slayer the dragon, right? But you want to play with the dragon. You want to footsies. You want to stroke the dragon, right? You want to stroke the dragon. You want to play footsies. Man, we as man, I don't care how much cologne, deodorant, man, we put us out there in the sun where we start sweating, man. We smell like ass, right? So for any man that finds another man aroma, it's kind of sickening, man, right? It's kind of sickening, man, right? But when you ask certain people that were there, hey, could it happen? Nah, man, hell nah. Fuck no. So they brought in cartoons from the beginning to bring credibility to Mark. Right? Bring credibility. Right? They brought him to bring in credibility about Mark. Oh, no, Mark wasn't doing that. Nah, Mark wasn't doing that. No, hell nah. Shit, if Mark was doing that, then I was doing that. Right? That was the whole gist of it from the beginning. Right? Trying to cover up for Mark. Right? So now it's like, man, why didn't you just spill the beans from the beginning? Now people are going to question. Man, people that are smart are going to be like, man, well, what kind of skeletons did you have in your closet? Right? Because, back then, you were defending the dude. Right? You were defending him. To the nail. No, hell no, not Mark. No, hell no. Right? No. Right, but now it's like, shit, I seen Mark do that. I seen Mark do this. No, I knew Mark was doing it. Right? We had told him. I know the blood that moved done told him, All for what? For show? My thing is that why didn't you expose Mark when it was the right time? Right? Now your testimony is out the window, man. Whatever you say towards Mark is like another hips, right? That's how I take cartoon statements on Mark. I see them the same as hips, right? They're only telling you what they want to tell you. They're not telling you the whole story, right? Because if they tell the whole story, they incriminate themselves, right? So you can only take Cartoons 53's testimonies in this court against Lamark. It gets tossed out, man, right? Right? Because I see that same testimony carries the same weight as the testimony of hips. Yes, there's some truth to it. There's some truth to it. But they're trying to distance themselves from the actual true story. Because if they tell the whole true story, it incriminates themselves, right? And they don't want to incriminate themselves. All they want to be is the watchers, the knowers, right? The onlookers, the what do you call them people? The neck breakers. When they're going down the traffic and there's an accident, all they want to be is neck breakers, right? That's all they are at this point, right? Neck breakers. We seen this, we seen that, right? But they're only telling you the truth to a certain extent. So all that testimony of Cartoon 53, I hold no value to it. It's just fun and giggles, right? That's the way I see it, right? Because if you really wanted it exposed, you should have did this shit about a year ago, man. When you had the opportunity, when the shit was popping, right? When the shit was really popping, right? When the shit was really popping, but the narrative wasn't going the bum's way, right? The bum wanted so bad to control the narrative. Is that like now it's like, for what? For a few pennies? For a few pennies? Because honestly, man, I don't see Cartoon 53. His channel's pretty, I haven't really gone and looked at it recently. But I know he was doing pretty good content on his own, man. His channel, his videos were getting the views. I mean, doing pretty good. So I don't see all of a sudden, because people are going to question, man. Only smart people or people with common sense are going to be like, man, but shit, where was this energy a year ago, man? When you were defending him, making excuses, even putting himself in that position of shit. If Mark was doing it, then I must have been doing it, right? Because if it was a war daddy, shit, I was a war daddy, right? So it's just you gotta question stuff like that, man. Right? Especially, I question them, especially when on my other channel that I got created called the Lamark Files. Y'all go over there and subscribe to that channel, man, for I can move all this smut over there. I can do the lives over there, man. I'm trying to get back to Welcome to Texas podcast on this channel over here, man. Can y'all please get me over there to 50 subscribers? I promise y'all, man, that channel is not going to be monetized. Right? That channel is just to talk about this smut. Right? Because look at it, man. There's only 8 people up in here. Right? Listening to me talk about this smut. So let's move all these 7 people over to that new channel. Right? That channel is not going to be monetized. That channel Yep, you're right about that, Ronnie. Right? I mean, and I guess, maybe if I needed the money, who's not to say, man? right? Who's not to say, man? Right, but thank God, man. You know, thank God that he put me in a comfortable position to where, you know, I don't need to sell myself. And if I needed money, man, I'll just go back to work, right? I'll just go back to work. It's not that, you know, it's not that serious for me, man. Right? I've been on my last I've been home since 420, man. Right? So if I needed money, man, believe me, I will go back to work, man. Right? I wouldn't sell myself. It's called the Lamarck files. If you go to my on this channel, I've been promoting it on shorts, man, and it's called the Lamarck files. If we can get that channel up to 50, man, you know, that way I can actually concentrate on doing something over here positive, man. You know, be like a Dr. Jekyll type of shit. You know, be a character over there and be myself on my channel, man. All right, because I feel like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, man. Right? It feels like I'm two people, man. Right? Because first of all, you know, who the fuck wants to be talking about this shit? Some homosexual, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't have nothing against gay people or bi people. I don't have nothing against them people, man. Right? Like, I don't bother them. They don't bother me. I don't fucking bash them. Don't bother me, man. It don't. They honestly don't. See, the thing about storytelling, Ronnie, man, you got to be truthful with the story, man, or else it just becomes a fairy tale, right? Brad Lucas would just end it off for once, man, right? And I can tell you like this, man. Brad Lucas doesn't want personal charges, man. Right? He barely wants to talk about the shit, man. Right? I'm gonna leave it at that. Right? So it's like, just be honest with your subscribers, man. Right? Stop letting people explaining it for you, man. You know, put on your big britches, just like you got on that fucking documentary. Just tell it. Look, man. Yes, it was true. What about it? Are you gonna catch a body about it? And it's that simple, right? I'm not gonna catch a body over it, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, Mark, you did this shit. I'm pulling up to Open Laker. I'll leave it alone. I'd be like, damn, you know, he said he did it. You gonna do something about it? Shut up or pull up, right? And at that point, me being a man, I'm not gonna pull up. I'm just gonna shut up about it, right? He's like, hey, he said it, you know, that's it, leave it alone, right? But until then, right? Until we don't hear it, Brad Lucas, I'm always gonna be that motherfucker right there, man, the thorn, right? Always making videos. I don't care about the views, man. Right? You care more about the views because one or two people that are over here, you know, they go over there and it makes y'all feel some type of way, man. It don't bother me no more. Right? But you gotta question yourself, man. If a content creator is ready to blatantly lie to you to your face and tell you, no, man, it ain't true, but then come a year later and tell you, yes, it was true, you have to question, man. You be like, man, what changed, man? What changed? What changed from back then to now? If you had this information back then to now, right? Because it's not like you just came up pop off this information. You've been knowing, right? So what stopped you from back then telling the truth or the so-called truth, right? Like I said, man, those videos, I'll take them with like a softer grain, right? Same with Hips videos, right? I said, was Hips a victim or an accomplice? I say Hips is leans more to an accomplice, right? Why? Because Hips is always watching. Well, I seen Mark do this, I seen Mark do this, Mark that, but never incriminated himself and said, hey, I participated too, right? But if you're a common sense man that you could put everything together and be like, well, fucking Hips was in there busting cracking, right? He was cracking them boys as well. So more of an accomplice, right? But Hips, he's only going to tell you so much before he incriminates himself, right? So why didn't Cartoon do the same thing, right? All of a sudden, it's like, damn, you had a whole year to get your story straight, right? Basically, if we were in a courtroom setting and be like, shit, man, didn't you come in here and testify under oath that he wasn't doing that? But now all of a sudden, what happened, right? That shit would not fly in any court setting, man, right? I'm work. It's complicated, bro. I'm not gonna speak too much about it, man, but we all know pressure bust pipes, right? We all know that. We all know pressure bust pipes. So it's just I know, man, just but me knowing and the world knowing is two completely different things, right? Because if I tell you this and that, I look like a madman, right? I look like a madman from the beginning, right? So why would I want to revert to being a madman again, right? Just when it happens, right? Don't do the same mistakes that I did last time, right? I know, right? But me knowing and me presenting it to y'all are not gonna believe me, right? It has to come from the horse's mouth, right? That's why Mark, I don't understand Mark, why he don't just come out and just tell the truth, man. Right? It'll be a lot better, right? It'll be a lot better, man. Right? Just to come out and be like, man, look, fuck it, I did it. What about it? What are you gonna do? I ain't gonna do nothing. I'll start making videos about you right then and there. Right? That's it. You want me back up? That's all you have to do. I ain't asking for nothing much. I ain't asking for no money. I ain't asking for no apology. That's it, man. Right? That's it. Which I don't see so complicated, man, because if you were able to get yourself in front of a camera and say it, I don't see what's the difference, man. It might make you a star again. You never know. People like good redemption stories, man. Right? I'm telling y'all, man. People like listening to redemption stories. They like them Andy Dufresne stories. You know, tunneling through a tunnel full of shit and coming out clean at the end of the tunnel, right? It's a good story, man. Right? But Mark, once again, Mark's the main character, man. He's the main character. He's the one that has to be like, say, you know what, man, fuck y'all, man. I'm tired of y'all motherfuckers. What about it? I did it, and what about it? Right? That's it, man. Right? And then everybody can have sympathy and pity on old Mark. The handicap, right? Be like, then, right? Then it'd be justified. Hey, he admitted his wrongs. You know, he admitted his crimes on public. So why not, publicly apologize? You know what I mean? And that would lay everything to rest, man. Right? Y'all can continue after that. After that, y'all can continue doing y'all's fucking interviews, Betty the Cook, or rise people from the dead. I leave it alone, man. Right? But until that day happens, I guess I come up in here, man, take about an hour out of my day and just do a live video over and over. Whoever, eventually, man, the messengers get around, right? The messengers get around, and it's the views speak for themselves, man. Right? The views speak for themselves, right? Look at my views, man. Right? My views are low because who wants to be talking about this shit, man? Right? Who? Right? Every time I come up on here, we ain't talking about no Super Bowl. We ain't talking about no life training events. We ain't talking about nothing other than this piece of shit. I'm tired of it, right? But every time I see stuff that tries to bamboozle people, man, right? Finesse people, right? If you know what you're doing, you're scamming. Don't get mad when people call you out on the scam. People are gonna call you out on the scam and be like, man, it seems like that's a scam, bro. Right. So to me, man, it's that cartoon 53. I take those interviews with the salt of grain. I take those interviews as far as I can toss old hips. Right? Cause like I said it, hips and cartoon 53 are neck breakers. They weren't. If you ask them, were you in the hut with them? Now the only one that says yeah was hips. Right? Hips said, hey, I was holding lookout for you. Right? I said it from the beginning, man. Right? Hips and Mark were the Bird and Johnson of limestone, right? They were both picking off plays off each other in the All-Star game, right? But when you ask Hips a certain question, he tells you so much of a story, but he never tells you that he participated in it, right? He's always, I seen Mark do this. I was a lookout for Mark. Me and Mark were business partners. I seen Mark do that. I seen Mark do this, right? But if you're watching Mark do all this, did you participate, right? Especially giving yourself the name of War Daddy. Hips never called himself a War Daddy, right? Hips never called himself a War Daddy. But based off of what Hips comments, we were a family, we were business partners, we had 2 boys, he had 2 boys, I had 2 boys. You would speculate that, you can assume that Hips was in there, messing with them boys too, right? But if you ask him, hey, were you taking it by force? Nah, man, it was always Mark. It was always Mark. So I question people that are always pointing the finger at somebody, right? Be like, oh, man, how come? Yeah, especially when they're always watching them. Or they know this. And well, shit, if you knew all this, man, why didn't you say something? Right? You didn't want to get thrown under the bus yourself too, right? Like Hips, right? They only tell you enough story to incriminate the other, but not incriminate themselves, right? I'm only gonna say too much, because if I start saying too much, they're gonna be like, damn, man, the average person's gonna be like, damn, so what were you doing, just looking? No, what did Betty the cook say? No double Oreos. So there wasn't Big Ox and Mark and Hips in the middle. Is that the Oreo? Isn't that what they said, that they were doing them Oreos? So if you're watching, then I don't know, man. I would, if I was a betting man, I'd be like, damn, man, if they got them Oreos and you're watching, then somebody must be participating. Man. All right. How can you sit there and say, oh man, I know all about what one man was doing without people questioning you? How do you know all this? Right? How do you know all this? Right? What? Did a little birdie come and drop a kite and said, hey, this was Mark was doing at Limestone? Right? That's my question, man. You know, I don't mind people. I'm not the gatekeeper of Mark Moore, man. Right? But I feel like I'm the only one that's really keeping it real with y'all, man. I'm not doing it for the money or the views or I'm not doing it for none of that, man. Right? I'm not, man. Right? That shit, how can I tell you? This YouTube doesn't even pay for StreamYard, man. That's why I don't even use StreamYard. Right? That'd be a bad business move, right? Me feeding something into something that's not getting me back, right? That's like a dead end business, man. Right? That's pointless. Of constantly taking money out of somewhere else for StreamYard while YouTube is not even paying the StreamYard account, man. Right? So why would I fucking pay StreamYard out of my pocket while there's nothing coming in from YouTube to cover even the cost of StreamYard? Right? So I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna get StreamYard, man. I'll just do this shit on the fucking YouTube. That's it. Right? It makes no sense of putting in money into a dead business. And this is what this is. Right? Nobody wants to listen to this Lamark ceremony unless it's the real deal victims. Right? Nobody. The views speak for themselves. One video, 900 views. Another video, 200.5. That's it. That's the peak of the momentum, right? Every now and then, from that day moving forward, you'll get what, 10, 15 days a day, right? But the peak momentum was the day you dropped it, right? That day. 2 point equivalent of $40 to $50. Right? It's like, and then now it's 2 content creators, right? And don't forget they gotta pay Mark, right? So it's like almost like a 30-30-30. What's left on the table? What's left? Crumbs? When you got too many people digging into the same cookie jar, you know what happens? All them hands in there are breaking them cookies. Why? Because everybody's trying to get a whole cookie. But all them hands are stuck in that jar that can't nobody get out a whole fucking cookie. All they bring out is crumbs. I don't understand that shit, man. You know, not everybody has the mentality to be a flipper, man. Nobody. Right? But it comes with risk, man. It comes with long-term damage. Paranoia, man. Right? Any dude that's been in the streets that tell you paranoia sticks with you forever, man. Right? But that's the cost of doing business. Right? Every business has the cost of doing business, man. Supplies, right? You want to ship something out, you got to go buy tape, boxes, right? That bleeds into your profit, right? Oh, transportation, now that bleeds in more into your profit. So it's the same thing, man. Life, you know, mental wounds is just the cost of doing business in life, man. That's the way I see it. So, me being on the streets, you question people, man, and be like, "Damn, how you flip-flop, man?" Right? How you flip-flop? How can you go from defending one dude to going back and saying, man, this guy is the worst of the worst. Makes no sense to me, man. Right? I can't, just like how people say, man, I can't understand you. I can't, I can understand it, man. It all comes down to pennies, man. Right? Pennies. I couldn't, bro. I feel like I feel dirty talking about this smut shit, man. It's like this is like but it kind of sucks, man. Like in a way, it's almost like I have to be the gatekeeper, man. Right? Like I have to be the voice of reasoning, or else everybody's gonna think that Mark's this good old guy. And no, man, I gotta continue pushing it to one, y'all either bring out Brad Lucas and get a, right? Or I'm gonna beat y'all to the punch. Right? I'm giving y'all the opportunity to control the narrative the right way. Right? Eventually, I'm gonna crack him on his ass. Right? You have to, man. You have to. See, that's the thing. That once Mark realizes that, man, that him depending on too many people to clean up his image, that's not the path to go, man. That's not the path. Man is always gonna fail you, man. Right? Man is always gonna fail you. Especially if you're around greedy motherfuckers. Right? If you're around greedy motherfuckers, man, that's why the number one hustler never likes greedy motherfuckers around him. Right? If you ever been a hustler, man, you don't like greedy motherfuckers around. Why? Because they bring heat, man. Why? What is it? What is a greedy motherfucker? Right? A greedy motherfucker is that a random person knocks at the door and they got $50. Right? And you ain't never seen this person, but you see the $50. You let him in, you take the $50. Next day in, door gets kicked in. Right? Right? Instead of saying, you know what, man, fuck those $50. I ain't never seen this dude. Fuck him. Let him go get one of, if he's a real smoker, let him go get one of the dolphins from the street. Or let him go to the store and bring one of them dolphins over here. Right? One of the dolphins that I know. Right? And let dolphin get jammed up himself. Right? They bring heat to you, man. Unwanted heat. Greedy motherfuckers. Right? Greedy motherfuckers are willing to do everything. Right? Everything. Thank God, man. Thank God I ain't never been greedy. I ain't never worried about what the next man got. I ain't never coveted what the next man got. Right? I've never been like, oh man, that dude's, what does he got? No, man. I don't worry about what other people got, right? I'm not. How can you say, man? So people that are coming out now and trying to expose Mark, it's all for fun and giggles. I mean, ain't nobody trying to. People, if you want to take that as content and be like, oh yeah, we're exposing Mark. Take those interviews as, Betty the Cook, the fake Mendenhall, and all them other interviews that have no. I think the only interview that has ever been on that channel that had any kind of substance or value was David Mendenhall's ex-wife, man. That's and even then, she was just talking more about discrediting Mendenhall. But even then, She was part of the documentary, man. As far as the reasoning of why Mendenhall was there, so bringing her up onto the interview was good, right? Something interesting, man. Right? We all wanted to know how Mendenhall was, and we got a first point perspective from his wife. That's a good interview, right? But as far as these other fucking interviews that hold no value or merit, what's the point for, man? People are already, you've already lost so many subscribers, man. People are not tuning in. Just because you put just because you put Cartoon 53 exposes Mark Moore, that's not going to bring you the hits no more, man. Right? Because people already know the truth, right? People have already came up and they've already made their conclusion on it, man. Right? People want to tune in to good interviews, man. Right? People of substance. The mayor, Brad Lucas, people of that nature, right? Of that status, that can bring something to the table, man. Right? Not nobody that was protecting them, making excuses, putting doubt in people's minds that, oh, no, Mark, everything Mark was doing, it is, bro. Greedy, any kind of business, bro. Any kind of business. Greedy people, man, it's not. But when you have a fucking baseball team to feed, you become a degenerate, man. Right? And that's the honest truth, man. Right? You become a degenerate. Right? That's what the word is, man. You know what a degenerate is? Anybody that succumbs to and below their morals, right? They lower their standards, right? So if you got one day you're saying that he didn't do it, and then the next day you switch and said, oh yeah, he was doing it. But what happened, man? All of a sudden, overnight, well, it's not really overnight, it's about a year ago, man, right? Since he first came out on that he first came out on the interviews. Right? And it was a series of that shit, man, right? It was like 10, 15 cartoon videos, all defending Mark, right? It's like 10, 15 videos, all defending Mark, right? And now I guess it's another 15 videos of throwing Mark under the bus, right? With stuff that we already know, right? Unless cartoons gonna start throwing names in there, right? And start bringing on, like, it's how can I tell you, man? It's all for show, man, right? They're gonna bring a white dude from Alabama, and they're gonna say, yeah, this is Cartoons 53 boy, this is his boy, you know. Yeah, Mark, you know what you were doing, Mark. You know what you were doing, right? You know what you were doing. They're gonna start bringing these fake white boys around and portraying them as Mark victims, right? Because at the end of the day, it's fake victims, right? Mark's not gonna risk the chance of getting in trouble. So Mark's all on board, right? It's all on board. Don't be surprised that in the near future, if this shit doesn't go unquestioned, there's gonna be fake Betty the Cook, fake Mendenhall interviews with so-called victims of Mark, right? Shit, I know a couple of them boys still right now. Shit, don't make me get a hold of them boys, Mark, right? I'm gonna get a hold of them boys and they're gonna come up on here. They're gonna tell you, Mark, right? But it's all a play that they've been scheming up. You see how I can dissect their play in just a matter of seconds, man, right? Something that's taken them years, months to come up and scheme and plot. Man, how can we go about this? How can we go about this? Nah, man, you're gonna have to confront Mark, Cartoon. You're gonna have to confront him. You know, we gotta get back up on this, Mark. Yeah, you know, there we get that. Mark, you on board, Mark? Yeah, man. But we're gonna bring out some fake victims, right? They already talked up. They already pumped up, Mark. Look, Mark. People already believe what they want to believe, Mark. Who cares, right? It's the internet, Mark. It's the internet, Mark. Who cares, Mark? Man, people are gonna believe whatever they're gonna believe, Mark. Let's just get this money, Mark. Let's get this money, right? Let's get this money, right? But you're gonna be the slaughter of the lamb, right? And that's what a coincidence of one of the white guys' name is, Lamb, right? But now, old Mark is in the motherfucking lamb. Right? I'm calling it right now, man. I'm calling it right now. Don't be surprised in the next few days there'll be a white boy coming out saying it's Mark's victim from, right? Saying, yeah, Cartoon knows him, right? Because that's the whole play, man, right? Trying to control the narrative. How can we control it? How can we bamboozle these people? You gotta start the beef, Cartoon. You're the only one, man. You were in Alabama prison. You're the only one, man. Right? You the only. You see, that's why they probably. What about Youngblood, man? Is Youngblood up in that mix? I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't think the bum really likes Dante, man. I mean, the bum likes Youngblood, right? I don't think he really likes Youngblood. So he's always trying to exclude Youngblood from the mix, right? Because shit, you got somebody from Alabama, why not use Youngblood to elaborate and collaborate and be like, yeah, Mark Moore was this. Everybody else done flipped over, right? Why not include Youngblood? But I seen all this shit coming, but I try to avoid it, man, right? I knew, man. I got a strong mind, man. Right? And I see stuff, man, you just gotta call it the way it is. Right? What I don't understand is that, man, they could have, if you got somebody from Alabama, you got Youngblood, right? It was the same thing, right? Youngblood was going against Mark, but then all of a sudden he became cool from what I seen, right? Okay, so it's the same thing with Cartoon. Cartoon was cool with Mark. Now he's going against Mark, right? But it brings more credibility to a street certified dude like Cartoon 53. But in reality, all it does is just question his status. Be like, damn, you know, what were you hiding back then? You know, what were you hiding? Right? Because what did they say? Birds of a feather flock together. Right? Because he even put himself in that situation. It's like, if Mark was doing that, you know, I'm a war daddy. You know, I'm not making this shit up, man. The videos are somewhere up there. Right? The videos are up there. Right? So don't be surprised, man, that in the next couple of days, you see a white dude that Cartoon 53 knows, and this is his victim, man. Mark, shit, Mark, don't make me call them boys up. I know a few of them boys right now. And I ain't even watched none of the videos. I don't need to watch the videos to see the context of what they're doing, man. Right? It's obvious, right? That now they went from offense to defense, right? They went from trying to score them So my thing is, why not use Youngblood, man? Right? Why not use Youngblood to elaborate, collaborate, and it's the same thing, right? But I guess because it's the Muslim thing, right? It's the Muslim thing. That's the only thing I can think about it, man. Right? Because you know, being a Christian and having one of the biggest financiers being a hardcore Christian, you know, that's a conflict of interest, man. All right. And I think Cartoon, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cartoon not too long ago, you know, got baptized or he became Christian. I might be wrong. Right? But I guarantee you this. The way these guys are going, don't be surprised if there's some white boy, even a black dude come out, man, right? Don't be surprised if some kind of fake boy comes out, right? And say, hey, this was Mark's boy. All you need is somebody else to back up your play, right? That's all you need. Somebody to co-sign you. That's it. Right? Because if the boy says, yeah, I was Mark's boy. If Cartoon 53 says it's Mark's boy, it's the same thing with the Jerry Gaskins and the Mark and the Brad Lucas. It must be true, right? It must be true, right? It must be true. So don't be surprised, man. It's coming up on the next couple of videos. Right now, they're just working themselves up, trying to gain traction, and then they'll drop these bombshells. Right? He'll drop these bombshells about, oh, we got this boy, we got one of Mark's victims coming up. Right? Dropping soon. Right? Mark, what were you doing? Oh, yeah, Mark, you know, we were lovers. You know, I would rub your feet, you would rub my feet, you would squeeze my nipples, I would squeeze your nipples, right? They're gonna come with the fucking Betty the Cook and fake interviews, right? Why you could be getting the real interviews, right? The real interviews, man. All right. So don't be surprised, man. In the next couple of days, if you know, what did it say, man? History has a pattern of repeating itself, man. Right? And you see this guy's tactics, they're the same tactics, man. Right? He got a pea brain, man. Right? It's like, let it die down, we'll come back around, and we'll start acting like we're attacking them, right? This is what I schemed up with, right? It's like a Bill Belichick, man, play after he met this chick, man. Bill Belichick ain't the same no more, man, right? That young chick did something to him, man. He ain't the same coach, right? He ain't the coach of Brady, right? He ain't, right? That young chick got to him. And these are the plays that they're doing right now. These Bill Belichick plays, late in his senior move, right? They're not doing the Bill Belichicks of the Patriots of the Brady era, right? Scheming up some top-notch plays. Nah, man. They're scheming up the plays of Bill Belichick in 2025, right? Washed up, de-energized for fucking with that young chick, Jordan Will, whatever the bitch name is, right? You got infested with Mark, man. So your plays ain't the same no more, right? You've been corrupted. You can't retain the audience that you did before, because all you're doing is damaging everybody else's credibility. Your credibility is damaged and gone out the fucking window. So now it's like, the more the merrier, man, right? Because now smart people are going to be questioning Cartoon's authenticity, man, right? How authentic is he, right? And if he can be like that for 16, 17 videos, Man, how many of his videos are fugazi, right? That's only human nature, man, to see when you see something like that, be like, damn, how can this dude do a whole 360? Right? Going from defending and saying, oh no, man, to saying, oh man, he was doing the worst, and I got a boy. My homeboy knows a boy that he knows what Mark was doing, man. You know, I'm gonna bring him up. I got him coming up on the next interview. So y'all get ready for the Betty the Cook, them stuffed double Oreos, right? Because in order to make the story believable, for cartoon to be able to validate everything, they have to bring a fucking third party in, right? They got to bring a staged victim, right? For the stories can collaborate and the stories can make sense, right? Because if a cartoon says it, everybody's gonna be, oh, how do you know, cartoon? You were in there fucking with them boys too, huh? You were a war daddy too, right? You gave yourself that label. Now you're over here saying Mark was a war daddy. And fuck, so there must be levels to war daddies, right? Credibility, man. Especially when people think highly of him. I'm saying this, man, because somebody dropped it in my comments and said, yeah, certified street dude. Well, I'm like, well, fuck, if people think highly of him like that, like he's street certified stamp, right? Which he probably is. I'm not taking nothing from him. But if somebody's, if people are thinking highly of you that way, and they've seen you portraying yourself defending Mark, and all of a sudden, you're over here exposing them, right? So people are going to question that, man. People have no choice, right? Well, unless you want to, go along with it, right? And not really get the truth, man. Right? So there y'all go, man. Next couple of days, don't be surprised if a black boy, a white boy, come out speaking and saying, hey, I was Mark's boy, right? And Cartoon's gonna co-sign off on it, stamp it, and be like, yeah, Mark, that is your boy. I seen you with them, right? You were here with them, woo 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 woo, and it's just a back and forth, right? Then that's where the back and forth comes. Oh no, man, woo woo woo. Yeah, Mark, you lying, Mark, right? We were in love, you woo woo woo, right? Instead of getting to the real story with Brad Lucas. Right? With Brad Lucas. Right? I don't care what Cartoon has to say, because all it does is make me question him more. I already had doubts about him from the beginning. Right? Somebody that was watching it from the beginning, I already had doubts about him. Right? Now I got more doubts, because it's like, damn, well, what happened, man? Right? What happened? Scheming up. Took him about a year, man, to scheme up these plays. 6 months, 3 months, to try to figure out, hey, how can we get back up on this Mark Moore? It didn't go too good trying to defend him. Man, everybody's at Mark, that's a harsh. Johnny Cochran can't get him out of that case, man. Right? The Kardashian and Cochran together can't get Mark off of that. Right? Not like they did OJ. Right? If the glove don't fit, you gotta quit. Right? But not even Cochran and the Kardashian can beat this for Mark, right? Too much incriminated, too much self-incriminated, right? Too much. That once you self-incriminated, yourself, you can't take it back. Especially when you record it visually and audio. Yeah, that's what they doing, Ronnie. I'm telling you, man, it's the playbook of Bill Belichick 2025, man. Right? You know, Bill Belichick was, when he was with Brady, unstoppable. Right? But now he's old, senile, with the young chick draining him. Right? He ain't the same Bill Belichick, man. Right? He got corrupted, as you would say. That football life, he divorced his wife, fell in love with this young chick. You know, he had a midlife crisis, man. He ain't the same Bill Belichick, right? And these are the places that I see these guys performing, man. Right? And I'm like, and 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 thank you, whoever you are, man. Justice of the league, or justice. I appreciate it, man. Right? You I don't know who you are, but you're always dropping jewels on my comments, man. All right. And once you drop them jewels, man, I just need, like I said, man, I just need a sentence, man. I just need to have a sentence with somebody to know how full of shit you are. A simple conversation, a few sentences, I can already tell how full of shit you are. So in the comments, man, it's just, you drop jewels, man, to where I'm like, these guys are teaming up for this and that. For what reason, right? And then I have to break it down and analyze it in my mind and be like, this is the only fucking sound mind that these guys are doing it, right? And this is the only way they can go about it, right? There's no other way about it, right? They're gonna go back to the same playbook, just try to modify it and adjust it, right? So if they're gonna go back to the same playbook, you can only expect fake interviews coming soon, right? Fake interviews. Right? Because that's how it starts. Right? That's how it starts. Fake interviews. This time they're going a little bit more because now they have somebody to co-sign. Right? Last time there was nobody to co-sign Betty the Cook. Right? Nobody. Who was co-signing Betty the Cook? But now you bring Cartoon, a street certified YouTuber. You bring Cartoon 53 in the mix and be like, yeah, I know that boy. Mark, yeah, Mark, stop acting like you don't know that boy, Mark. You know that boy. We both know that boy. Right? And there goes the dialogue. It's that simple, man. Right? It ain't, these guys, I can tell these guys never been street hustlers, man. Right? Never have. They have pea brains. Right? They have actual pea brains. The narcissists feel like, oh yeah. But at the same time, it's who you surround yourself with, man. If you surround yourself people that are less educated than you, well, then of course you're going to have the upper hand, right? Isn't that what they say? That if you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room? But some people feel comfortable in that room, being the smartest man in the room, right? Some people, you know, feel like a king, right? But if I'm the smartest man in the room, I'm definitely in the wrong room, man, because I can't learn nothing from these fuckers. If I can't learn nothing from these fuckers, then what the fuck do I got these idiots in here with me for, right? So it defeats the purpose of actually being the smartest man in the room. You're tapped out. As far as, you know, I'd rather be the least educated in the room while I'm absorbing knowledge, right? Oh yeah, you right about that, Ronnie. You can't go wrong, man. You can't. I mean, I like debating myself, man. You know, I like talking to myself and debating myself, man. But at the same time, it helps, man, when you have somebody to run plays through, man. Right? I understand it, man. You know, it's kind of what did it say, man? 4 brains is better than 1 brain. 8 hands is better than 2 hands. Right? When you're trying to get something done, it's understandable, man. Right? It's understandable, man. But it's sad, man, that when you have to brainstorm amongst yourself and somebody can just dissect your play in a matter of minutes, man. From a few comments, I'll be like, oh, these guys are doing this. Right? They're gonna do this. They're doing that. right? And it's just so obvious, man. You know, it's not really that fucking like these guys really schemed up a plan. No, they didn't, man. All they did was just find somebody to try to uh, co-sign everything that somebody's pushing out. Co-sign it, co-sign it, co-sign it, right? Like they were trying to do in the beginning, right? Cartoon 53 was trying to validate and normalize Mark, right? Oh no, it's not possible. Everything was impossible. What about the hub? Oh, you think the guards are gonna let them guys be holding and kissing hands? And man, the guards ain't gonna let them dudes do that. But what is he saying now? I don't know, right? But if I was a betting man, he's saying, man, fuck, Mark was all over in the pageants, tossing coffee and pop that, pop, pop, pop. You know, he's over there having them freak nights, right? But you gotta question yourself, man. Where was this testimony a year ago when we started all this shit, right? When we started this about a year ago, everybody was trying to normalize and protect Mark. Right now, everybody's trying to go against him, bash him. Right, but don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for Mark because he's like he's a consensual, willingly participant, right? Everything he's doing is willingly participating. He don't care, right? He don't care, man. He's done made up his mind that he don't care what people think about him, right? He don't, man. That's why he continues this charades of fuck it, right? If Cartoon 53 is going to be my ops for content, that's all it is, right? It's nothing. Cartoon hasn't said anything or isn't going to say anything more than what Hips already said. All right. The only thing now is that they have to bring somebody else to collaborate their story. Right? So here comes to play the fake interviews with fake boys. Might be a black guy, might be a white guy, but it's going to be on those lines of a fake interview. Right? With somebody coming out and saying, yeah, Mark, I was your boy. We were in a relationship. You were this and that. And, you know, to play off of that, man. To deceive the people. Right? To make people think that they're attacking Mark, but in reality they're just in the back counting the views, looking at the estimate revenue off the how can you say, you know, bamboozling people, man, for you to click on and be like, oh, he's finally exposing them. Right, but he's not exposing them because he's not saying nothing new. You know what I mean? Exposing is like Brad Lucas. Somebody on those grounds that'll come out and be like, yeah, man, you know, woo, 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 woo. We don't want to hear what, you know, people have to say at the moment when they had all the opportunity at the beginning to, you know, tell the truth, man. All right, if that was your so-called truth. All right. If the truth was like to protect Mark, oh, Mark wasn't doing that. Why? Right? What's the point? Other than in a couple of days there's gonna be some fake interviews coming up. Right? Some fake interviews coming up of some so-called victims and portraying Mark was doing this, Mark was doing that. But then that's the only choice they have, man. They can't go about it with Cartoon just saying, oh, I seen him do that, I seen him do this. It's not gonna be able to believable story, right? Everybody's gonna be like, oh, Cartoon, you were doing that too. Now all of a sudden you coming out, right? So in order for Cartoon to kind of have some kind of you know, how can you say, some buffering space between him and Mark, they bring in somebody that they can control. Right? Look, hey, you're gonna come in here. This is your role. You know, woo, 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 woo. And this is how we're gonna go about it. Right? And just like all these other fucking reality shows, right, that people want to do. Yeah, he was. You know, they're gonna find somebody to portray. You know, cartoon needs some kind of buffer space, right? What I mean buffer space, that he can't be the one, you know, pointing the finger all the time, right? He can start it up, but then there has to be somebody else to come and, you know, take that spot and be like, say, you know, this is Mark. Yeah, well, I know him. You know, it's just a play, man. You know, so if I can see through the play, and man, fuck, I just got a comment, man. Whoever you are, Justice, I can't remember the name, man, but Justice of the League or Justice of. So much the name tells me that you're Justice, man. That you want, you know, you might not believe in everything I do or say, but you've come to the conclusion that or maybe, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know why people do it, but man, I appreciate why you dropped those jewels for me, man. I really do appreciate it, man. You know, because now it gives me some kind of it gives me something to talk about, man. All right? It gives me something to talk about, man. All right? We're tired of they hadn't come, I hadn't known any kind of new plays where I really hasn't been paying attention to it, man. Right? All this information that I get is from people dropping comments. Right? That's it. So when they drop comments, I go check it out. I don't go check it out. I just click the comments and I read it, right? But today, when they told me it was Cartoon 53, I'm like, oh shit, maybe they do Cartoon 53, and he's probably doing it on his channel or something, right? But once I seen it was on the Bums channel, I said, oh, this is stupid, dumb fucking play, right? It's all a fucking play, right? So once I get the understanding of what they're doing, I have no choice but to make a video and put it out there, right? And let the people know, because I know there's one or two people in here that will go back over there, or maybe they're in here watching the videos, man, right? That I'm already dissected their play, and they get upset, man, right? They get upset. They get their panties all up in a bunch. They start commenting negative comments, right? Like if those comments are supposed to hit me in the head like a rock, right? Boom. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, they're just comments, man. Right? It's your opinions. What am I supposed to do? Pay him any attention? No, man. Right? But apparently, for you to be over here dropping negative comments, everything I must be saying must be hitting you. Right? What did it say? A hit dog will holler. So by you coming over here and dropping negative comments, tells me you're a hollering dog. Right? You're hollering. You're over there, ooh. Right? Because you're hollering. But when you drop negative comments, that means a hit dog is hollering. Right? That's the way I take it nowadays, man. Every time you drop a bad comment or a negative comment, I take it as it's bothering you. Right? It's getting you in your feelings. Believe me, man. I was a victim of those feelings. They do make you feel some type of way. They do. And you're showing me, right? Because you're over here dropping negative comments. Negative comments, man. Right? Continue. All it does is show me that you're getting a reaction. Right? I'm getting a reaction out of you. Right? And by you trying to get a reaction out of me, you come on here dropping your comments. Right? It bothers you, man. Right? It makes you feel some type of way. Them feelings are a motherfucker, man. And there's been a time or two that I felt like I was on the menstrual. All right? Whew. Them emotional feelings. Emotions. Emotions. Right? I've been there. So, when these guys come up in here and they get mad because I expose their... See, what I really do is really called exposing. Right? I really do expose, man. And it bothers you. Right? It bothers you, somebody that just came off the bench is doing something that you've been doing for so long. And it bothers you. Right? It bothers you. It makes you feel some type of way. Does it? Do I hurt your feelings? Because I know who you are? Is that the truth? That I know who you really are. And it bothers you, right? It bothers you. That I know who you really are. I know who you are. Right? I know who both of you are. And it bothers you. It bothers you, man. So the only thing you can do is do videos, drop comments without a reaction. Right? I'm doing this video to expose your play on the future shenanigans of this Lamark Moore saga 2026. Right? 2026, man. I think I jumped in this, 2024? 2 years in, baby. 2 years in. 2 years in. And the only thing that keeps on happening is that I keep on getting stronger and stronger, man. Right? That's it, man. Any more negative comments? Okay. I'll get back into what I was talking to, man. All right. So, why all of a sudden now, Cartoon 53 wants to be exposing Mark Moore? Right? Why didn't you expose him at the beginning when everything was popping? Right? The real truth. Right? Nah. I had to try to play off the emotions, off the intelligence of your subscribers and audience. Right? Exposing those words which you don't match. Right? There's no, that's not in your vocabulary. Right? You're far from it. Right? More of a under the carpet and trying to normalize deviancy, which comes out to being the devil's work. Right? God don't like ugly, man. Right? God don't like ugly. He don't, man. It took me 43 years to realize that, man. Right? God don't like for you to be hateful. Right? He wants you to, how do you say it? Turn the other cheek. Isn't that what he wants you to do, man? It's hard. It's hard. Believe me, it's hard, man. Especially when you've been 43 years to where you're like, yeah, this dude punches me, I'm punching him back. But sometimes, there's that saying, man, you got to be the bigger man. Sometimes that bigger man, you got to, swallow your pride. That's just the way life is, man. So, y'all get ready, man. I got what's the groundhog's name? I'm predicting, he predicted 6 more weeks of winter. I'm predicting about 16 more videos of fake interviews coming soon. All right? I predict interviews of either some kind of a prison boy in the near future, right? And I'm giving it less. I'm giving it less than the groundhog. The groundhog says 6 more weeks of winter. I say in about another few days or so. Right? If it's not already loaded into the chamber, right? This guy worked fast. Right? He already got them in the chamber, ready to start unloading them. Boom, 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 boom. Right? He already got them in the chamber, man, ready just to start unloading them. Boom. Gain the people's attention. Oh, cartoons exposing over here. Oh, yeah, that's cartoon. Oh, man, that's street certified cartoon. That's Toon. Oh, man, that's Toon. Oh, man. Right? But people got a question. Said, man, this is the same cartoon that was defending him. Right? This is the same Toon. Right? Look out, Toon. Right? How many other stories are losing credibility? Right? I don't watch the man's stories, right? I don't watch them, right? I would just, when I would watch him was when the beginning of the Lamark Moore saga, man. All right? Because he was involved and, I was tuning into this. But even then after that, I stopped watching. I don't tune into none of these channels. I go based off comments. So whoever's dropping those comments in my comment section, I appreciate it, bro. Or female, I don't know what you are, right? But I appreciate it, man. Because it saves me the headache of going over there, searching and looking. You type in a few comments and you give me enough plays, right? So if you can't get and understand how my mind works, you're never gonna understand it, right? Apparently you can't, but apparently I can understand yours. Ain't that a bitch? Right? Ain't that something? People always dropping comments, I just can't understand you. But shit, I can understand you very well. And your tactics you deploy. Right? I know that very well. Right? I know that for sure. I can understand you. But you can't understand me. Right? And it bothers you. Right? It bothers you. Right? It bothers you. That's what happens when you're the smartest man in the room. Right? Somebody out of left field, like the squirrel master, just pops in. Look out, Nate. Look out, nasty Nate. Anybody doing him is gonna be me. He's my bitch. Half baked, right? The squirrel master comes out of left field. Right? And it bothers you, man. That I have an understanding of who you are. And you're the way you think, the way you go about it. If I can dissect your play or what you're thinking about doing based off a comment, man. Now, you're going to have to go somewhere, go a different way about it. Just to try to prove me wrong. Right? Just to try to prove me wrong. You're not going to do your interviews. Right? Just as y'all know I was crazy and paranoid. Right? But 9 out of 10 times, you already got those in the chamber. Right? They're one click away. Click, click. Right? One upload. Right? Or you might even have them unlisted, ready to go public. Right? You're anxious. Just like how Mark Moore was with Eddie. Anxious. You need to learn how to work on that anxiety, man. I did. I'm gonna give you I don't need to preach to the choir, man. Right? I think you're pretty more versed in the Bible word than what I am. But the thing is, you don't practice it, man. You don't put it into play. Right? So all that wisdom of the book, pointless, man. Right? pointless if you're so well versed in the Word of God, right? If you can name scriptures off the top of your head and verses to meet the situation, that's knowledge right there, man. I wish God would bless me with that knowledge right there. I wouldn't be on here. I'd be debating somewhere else, right? I'd be using the power of God, the knowledge, right, to go combat, be a crash dummy for God, right? If I was very well versed in the Word of God and new scriptures and Bibles, like I said, man, I'm barely at the beginning. I'm barely understanding Genesis, right? It's gonna take me a minute to get there, man, right? But hopefully I get there, right, to where I can be able to throw a scripture off of my head and, I wish I had that knowledge instead of having any kind of knowledge, even street knowledge, man. I'd give up all my street knowledge to have the knowledge of God's word, man. Right? Some people have the knowledge, don't even use it, man. They'd rather be using it to normalize the deviancy of one man, right? I don't get it, man. That's why people would say, how come you don't do no more lives, man? Because in reality, man, one less character on YouTube, what positive do I have, man? That benefits society, right? What? Exposing these dudes over and over, right? Well, fuck it, I guess I gotta do it, right? Right? I guess that's gonna be my calling, exposing these dudes, right? I don't get it, man. These guys got the most powerful weapon in their minds, and they'd rather be on YouTube vindicating and normalizing this deviancy. Why not be spreading the gospel and, combating all the negativity that's on YouTube? Fuck, you know how much negativity there's on YouTube, man? You go endless, man. There's so much fucking negativity to combat. Content's left and right. So I don't understand, man. It's like, the only thing I really have knowledge is the streets, and as you can see from my videos, that's what I bring, right? So why would I want to do that if I'm not helping anybody, man? Right? So one less character on YouTube, myself, it doesn't have a great impact, man, right? Not like half of these dudes that are well versed, man, and have the knowledge of God, and they can be putting that into play, right? Helping society, man, being something positive, right? I don't get it, man. It's like you have all the weapons and the tools, and you're using it for the wrong job, right? You're using it for the wrong. I can't wait for the day that God uses me and transforms me and uses me as a vessel and gives me the knowledge, man. Right? A lot of y'all already have the knowledge. A lot of y'all already weaponized. Right? A lot of y'all are already weaponized. Right? But y'all don't put it into play, man. Right? And I don't want to be one of those guys. I've always been the type of dude that, if I'm going to commit to something, I'm going to go, I'm going to commit 100%, man. Right? So I'm not going to be giving my life to God and flip-flopping, right? Doing what the flesh wants, right? No. I'm going to do it right. So a lot of these guys are already weaponized, man. Right? They have the tools to be a positive impact on YouTube. A positive impact, man. Right? But I understand that a lot of these dudes have never had any negativity in their life. Right? They ain't never had no negativity, man. A lot of these dudes that create controversy on YouTube, they've never been in the trenches. They've never seen what weapons can do in the wrong hands. Right? They don't. Right? So when people have experienced negativity at a very young age, man, you get tired of it, man. Right? You get tired of it. Right? And a lot of these dudes, man, that are already weaponized by the word of God, they ain't never put no work in the streets. But they sure are real tough guys on YouTube, right? You ask them how many bodies they got, they got about 100, right? How many boys they robbed? I was telling them to fill up the bags, right? I don't get it, man, right? I do get it, you know? When I analyze the situation, it all points to greed and money, right? It doesn't equate to doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is not profitable, right? Doing the right thing don't put money in your pocket. I see a lot of dudes doing. There's this one dude called God Logic Apologetic. God Logic. And he got some other people that he be debating. Man, this dude does lives, man. He got, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people on his lives. People sending him cash, super chats, 150, 150, 200, like. So this I'm like, damn, these guys are weaponized by the word of God, and they're combating everything that's on YouTube. So why not, if you're already well versed and weaponized in the word of God, why not combat the bad? YouTube is probably, man, YouTube's probably like 75% bad and 25% good, man. And when I mean good, I mean educational videos that you can learn DIY, you know, do it yourself. That's the good stuff that I see about YouTube, right? That you can go on there and you can search for something. If you're having trouble, somebody already had an issue, so somebody posted it, and it'll guide you. So it's a good thing, right? But if you look at all the negativity that's on YouTube, man, and that's what I don't get. These people that are well weaponized rather be playing in the mud and dirt, man. I'm tired of playing in the dirt and mud. All right? That's why I can't wait to, you know, I'm right with the man, right? And he uses me and he can weaponize me and use me as a vessel. And be a crash dummy for him, man. Right? I've never been a crash dummy, but I'll be a crash dummy for God. Which some of y'all that are already weaponized should be. Instead of being I don't know, I don't get it, man. Right? That's just, to me, it's playing with God, man. That's why once I get weaponized, man, everything that I was doing before, it's out the door, man. Right? That's just and I think that's why God has blessed me a lot, man. Because he knows that I know he's there. And when he's waiting, man. Right? He knows that he showed me already that there's something more. And that's it, man. You know, it took me a minute to realize this. But, you know, it's also God, you know, God puts you through tests, man. And I guess I've survived all the physical tests that he threw at me, right? Or the devil threw at me, right? I've survived all the physical tests, right? So this mental social media was my mental test, man. And all it was just to guide me closer to him, man. That's all it was. That's the way I see it, right? He's like, you done survived all these physical, right? By the grace of my hand, right? not your actions, right? Your actions are putting you there, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that's saving you. So he's kept me alive, man. So this YouTube for me was my mental test, man. Was like, God's gonna test you physically, mentally, and spiritually. Physically, I survived numerous times. So what other way is he gonna reach me to? He has to reach me through my mentally or through my spiritually. And which he did. This YouTube was the test, right? Especially for somebody that likes physical gratification, man. Right? Somebody that's used to shooting first, asking questions later. Right? The social media, I had no choice but to sit there and ask these questions and answer them myself, right? And the epiphany was, hey, man, you got to get right with me. You get right with me, everything else is a cakewalk, right? You've already survived the physical. You already got a strong mind. You just lacking on this little department of spiritual. You need all three of them. Man, y'all have a good one, man.